So, Linda, talking to you about yoga on the island, and just we were just talking about Michel Best now, who comes to the island every summer. He didn't come this year, but tell us a little bit what he does and why he comes here.
Michel, he is a senior teacher. Michel teaches a different form of yoga than I normally teach. He teaches Ashtanga yoga, which is more of an aerobic type of yoga. So when I visited Michel in Hong Kong, I practiced the same kind of yoga as what Michel teaches. And I can assure you, in Hong Kong, you need a towel next to you the whole time because it's fast, the yoga. His classes last for 3 hours, and it's quite a strong type of yoga. So you're moving very quickly all the time to keep a lot of heat in your body. The idea is that when you're hot and your muscles are more flexible, so you can move deeper and deeper into some of the postures. So that you do a lot of advanced poses as well. But when Michel comes here to Great Barrier Island, he teaches more Iyengar yoga, which is what I teach, with also a bit of a theme of the Ashtanga yoga, which he teaches too. So he kind of mixes them both together. Michel is also, he travels to China and he teaches teachers. He trains teachers. So he spends several months in China, and he also goes to Thailand, teaches in Thailand, Australia, and also all over Europe. He's a very experienced teacher.
So we're actually quite privileged to have him come to Little Great Bear Island. As I said, we missed him this year, but he came the previous 3 years running and did weekend 2-day workshops here, isn't that right? Yes,
that's right. He also brings his partner, who is also a yoga teacher as well. She's also an air hostess for Cathay Pacific, so she has to make sure she's got the time off to come and spend time with us on the barrier, but she's also very, very flexible and experienced in her yoga.
And what Linda means, not just flexible in her approach, but also flexible in body-wise. Quite impressive posture she manages there. Linda, you were touching on Iyengar and Ashtanga yoga approaches, styles. When most people talk about yoga, I mean, I do yoga, but to be honest, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You're kind of saying that Ashtanga is a little bit more aerobic. But how do these different styles of yoga come to be in existence? Why do they continue to be practiced by different people in different ways, and what's the purpose in them?
The yoga that I teach is called Iyengar yoga. The master is living in India, and also the Ashtanga yoga, which is what Michel teaches. They both originated from a guru in India called Krishnamacharya. And both these two students, Iyengar and Patabi Joyce, they both went to Krishnamacharya. But when they came...
Krishnamacharya?
Krishnamacharya, he is the guru in India. That Mr. Iyengar is now 94, and he started yoga when he was about 7 years old. But they both went to Mr. Krishnamacharya, the guru in India. This is Patabi Joyce and Iyengar. But they both came out teaching slightly different types of yoga. So Iyengar teaches with props, and the Ashtanga yoga is the aerobic type of yoga. So they're both different types of yoga, but they're both the most popular types of yoga, and they're both very well practiced throughout the world.
And is there, is one found more commonly in Europe or North America or Asia, or is this how have the different styles kind of found their home in around the world?
Well, I think you've got to experience both types of yoga to find out which is best for you. I've experienced them both, and I find that the Iyengar method of yoga is what suits me best, because in the Iyengar style of yoga, you work with alignment, you work with props, so that when you're moving into the poses, you move quite slowly with your breath into the pose, so that you're really sensitive to your alignment, to your muscles, the way that you're moving, and you can sort of release into the pose much easier with your breath rather than rushing into it and not having that and not really thinking about it. Also with Iyengar yoga, we use the props, we use straps, we use blocks, we use blankets and like a support pillow, which is called a bolster, and all those, and sandbags and things. So it enables you to hold the poses, to feel what the poses are doing for you, and to work in the pose more calmly. So this is why I've chosen the Iyengar method of yoga.
Brings to me back that theme we talked about before, which is self-awareness, and the way you describe the going to the posture actually gives you the moment to contemplate, to experience, to feel what you're doing, rather than an exercise where you're sort of going through a quick sequence and have yourself executing a whole series of complicated moves in one go. I like that about yoga, being able to sort of just really sort of settle in and say, okay, I'm stretching as far as I can go, and I can feel the limits of my body and how I can just push them just gently in such a way to make my body more subtle. Tell me, Linda, when people go to sort of yoga retreats, etc., and we've had these 2-day workshops, and in that sense it's that day and a half, it's quite invigorating. Going for a yoga retreat, as people say, what's involved and what kind of benefit does one get out of just doing nothing but yoga for a while, either be it here on Great Barr Island with you, or going to India with one of the yoga schools here?
A yoga retreat is generally it can be 5 to 8 days or 2 weeks, but when you go to a yoga retreat, you're just doing yoga. You haven't got any of these outside influences. So you get up in the morning and you do maybe an hour of just breathing exercise. And then you probably have some breakfast, and then after that you do maybe 2 hours of yoga practice. And you have some time to yourself. In the afternoon you do more of a restorative kind of practice. So by the evening you're completely relaxed and you have a really good sleep. And then the next morning you do the same again. So you're not going home and having to cook dinner and look after children and doing all your chores that you do. You're just mainly working at, finding that self-realization, that self-awareness.
We keep coming back to self-awareness, self-realization. Linda, I'm going to come back to you in just a moment after we have a little short break here. But I'm interested in this whole theme of self-awareness because to me it dips into the whole philosophy of yoga, which goes beyond just stretching your body. So I want to know more about that. You could touch a little bit on the history, but just after this break. Thank you.